Well, hi everybody, my name is Robert and I'm the founder of Shameless Care, and today I'm going to tell you why if you read something on a dating profile where someone writes, I was STI tested for everything and I'm negative, or I was STI tested and I'm completely clean, that means absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it is not because of timeliness, and it is not because I think people are lying about getting tested. It is about thoroughness. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to talk about 2 STI testing results. I'm going to be looking at them here on my iPad. You're going to have them on your screen. Now, this person, it looks like when it says not detected and it's in black, that means that the person did not have that infection or it did not show up on their test result. It looks like they were tested for chlamydia, and that's awesome. Gonorrhea, negative as well. Trichomonas, very surprised that this person was tested for trichomonas because while it is the single most common curable STI in the United States, with about 3.7 million people having it at any given time, it is rarely tested for, which is a major tragedy. But nonetheless, back to this test result. This person was tested for Hep B, Hep C, both negative, outstanding. Herpes simplex virus 2. Remember, that can infect either the mouth or the genitals, but negative for it nonetheless. HIV, negative. Syphilis, negative. Now, it looks like they also had an anal swab, which is also pretty surprising to me. I have to say, this is a much more comprehensive testing panel than probably 95% of people are going to get from their physician. So this is outstanding, really. Chlamydia negative and gonorrhea negative as well for the anal swab. So that's great. Now, if this person was to present these testing results to you as proof that they were STI tested, well, it is proof. We can see the date right on there, and that they are STI free. Well, yeah, there's nothing on there that says they are positive, right? Outstanding. Well, now let's look at the next set of testing results. Now, there are a couple of positive STIs on this particular lab report, so let's dig into it a little bit. The first one is Mycoplasma genitalium. Now, I'm going to scroll back up, but I don't think Mycoplasma genitalium was on this first lab report. And of course, I know it wasn't because this is actually the same patient just being tested 2 different ways. One a little more thorough than the other. So Mycoplasma genitalium they have, and as it turns out, they also have oral gonorrhea. So now I hope this is making my point that thoroughness is what matters most. When people say things like, I was STI tested for everything, they probably tried. They probably went to their doctor and said, Doctor, I'm non-monogamous, I'm polyamorous, or I'm a swinger, or I'm just on hookup apps, or single and living my best life, whatever they tell their doctor, and that they want to be tested for everything. When that doctor is over there, selecting labs on their laptop while still listening during this 6-minute long appointment, it's highly unlikely that they are going to check all the boxes and order all the labs of all the STIs the person could have. Even though that's what the patient wants, that's not just really the way it works in the real world. So thoroughness is what matters most. What most people should be saying about their STI status is, I was tested for some of the infections in some of the places. And for those infections and in those places for which I was tested, I was negative. That's a much more accurate representation of their status than I was tested for everything and was negative. But let's continue, because I actually went to the web and I found several different resources to talk to you about, so I can tell you what's missing from those labs. So let's dig into it. Now, the first one I found was a really popular online provider who just talks about testing people and order your testing kit here. It doesn't even say what they test for. And to me, that is just a tragedy. It further illustrates the myth, or it further perpetuates the myth, I should say, that tested means something. It doesn't. People have to know what they are being tested for. Here's another resource I found. The state of Alabama has free STI testing, which is outstanding. It's great, phenomenal, right? Phenomenal. People cannot always afford testing. This gets people on equal footing and free testing for everybody. But when you look at it, it's missing hepatitis B, it's missing hepatitis C, and it's missing Mycoplasma genitalium. Look, here's the truth about free STI testing resources. They're not free. Taxpayers are paying for them. So if there's a clinic in your community that's offering free testing, perhaps there's a philanthropic group that gave them money, but the fact remains, it's not free. Somebody or somebodies are paying for it. And when that situation arises, rationing must occur. It is not unlike a public food pantry or a public food bank. I used to work a lot in public health and childhood obesity issues. I have toured many food banks, and the phrase, well, isn't something better than nothing, came up much more often than I would have preferred to have heard it. I'll never forget the day that I was at a public food pantry and I'm watching everybody come in, and when they came in, they were given a cart and a volunteer helped them, taking them around the circuit. And for some things they got to choose, and for other things they just had to take them. And the very first station at this food pantry, everybody got a 1-gallon bag full of fun-size candy bars. Now, you have to imagine the health issues that a lot of people have that are coming to a food pantry. Some people are diabetic, some people are very obese, all sorts of health issues, very few of which are going to be helped by being forced to take a gallon-sized bag of Snickers bar. And when I asked about this, they said, well, that particular company donates this food and we have to take it. And they said, isn't something better than nothing? Well, that's debatable. Some people say that any testing is better than no testing, and other people may say that testing people, giving them the illusion that they are STI free when in fact they may not be, is not helpful. But nonetheless, that's the story of free STI testing in the United States, is that it's never perfect. It wasn't designed to be perfect. It's designed to be an emergency intervention. Here's another example from a company that I found online. It's retailing for $253, and it does not include oral gonorrhea or anal gonorrhea, oral chlamydia or anal chlamydia. So basically gonorrhea and chlamydia, both orally and anally, missing, not including Mycoplasma genitalium and not including herpes simplex virus. So all of this brings me back to the story of Shameless Care. I never wanted to open a telemedicine company, but I myself am very sex positive. And I myself one time got an STI-free status from an online company when I later found out that I wasn't STI-free because a partner texted me and said, hey, you gave me XYZ. And yes, this story does involve a missing throat swab. And that impacted my life dramatically. And I thought, of all the problems in the world, wouldn't this be the easiest one to solve? Like, I can't solve childhood hunger, but I can certainly make sure that people are either being STI tested very thoroughly or at least know that they're not, because that's really the rub, isn't it? When people go to another testing facility and they get tested and they ask for everything, but they're not given everything, yet they get an STI negative test result, they think they are STI free, when in fact, many of them are not. And now here we are at Shameless Care, nearly 3 years later at the time of filming this video. And I can tell you that if we STI tested people in the same way that that last company did, remember they were missing oral gonorrhea and chlamydia throat swabs, that we would have missed half of our positive gonorrhea cases. Half of them. So you can go to shamelesscare.com and you can order a testing panel from us. That includes an online medical consultation with a board-certified physician in your state. That same doctor will order your lab kit for you. It'll go to your home. You do the sample collection yourself, finger prick for blood, urine test, oral swab, and an anal swab. Don't worry, those are 2 separate swabs. That probably goes without saying, but I thought I would mention it. We pay the postage back. You just drop it in an envelope, mail it back to the lab. And a few days later, you'll get your test results, which have already been interpreted by your board-certified physician. And if you test positive for something relatively easy to treat, like a Mycoplasma genitalium or a trichomonas, something like that, that physician will send a prescription to you to your local pharmacy of choice. So let's say that you're a Walgreens user, you can just hit the drive-thru of Walgreens, pick up that antibiotic or that treatment, and you are good to go. I hope I wasn't speaking negatively of free resources, because I really believe in them. But I'm just pointing out that they are almost never comprehensive, right? They have some holes and they're designed to. But now not everybody can afford a $300 STI test from shamelesscare.com. So what can you do? I highly encourage you, subscribe to the YouTube channel, please. That could be a way that you give back to us. That really helps the algorithm, helps other people find us. So please subscribe to our channel and then just go to our website and screenshot the tests that make up our perfect panel and take those to your physician. See if they will do them. You might have to fight for your rights. It's quite likely that they won't know what a throat swab is, but don't give up and doctor shop if you need to. But for goodness sakes, if you're gonna get STI tested, make sure that you are STI tested properly. But circling back to the beginning, what do you do if a potential play partner says to you, I was tested for everything and I'm clean? I want you to look that person in the eye or respond on your phone and say, what exactly were you tested for? I bet you they don't know. And that is really the problem with STI testing in the United States. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I am Robert with Shameless Care, and I'll see you next time.